Hey guys, so welcome to this video. In this video we'll be talking about memory or memory address in C. So before we talk about memory address, let's know what a memory is. A memory is an array of bytes within a RAM in your computer, which we can signify as the street. Then a memory block is a single unit byte within memory, which is the house, used to hold some value, which is the person. So look at it like this. In your street, which is also the memory, you have a single unit of byte, which is the house. You know, you have houses on streets. And inside every street, you have a person, and that person is the value of the variable. Then, if you want to refer to that house, you use what? The memory address. So the memory address is the address of where in the memory or where a memory block is located. So that is the house address. Let me run it again. In your street, you have streets, right? We have a very long street. Now, inside of every street, you have houses. Those houses in your streets, they are the memory block. Inside of those houses, you have people. Those are the value of your variables. And if you want to refer to a house, you use the address, and that is the memory address. So let's try this out. Let's create some variables, some character variables a. So let's make this equal to x. Let's duplicate, and let's call this one b, and the next one c, and let's call this z, and let's call this y. So now let's print out their sizes. To print out the sizes, we use a printf statement and a sizeof. Take note. So let's say format specifier of d, because we want to print out a number. Then we say bytes. And what are we printing out? We are printing out the size of each variable. So size of a. So I'll duplicate that, and this is size of variable b, and size of variable c. And let's save that. Let's run this. Sorry, please. So let's put a new line character so that everything comes on one line each. So as you can see, each of these character, they take 1 byte. So let's use this now to describe this. So it means that this person, okay, this person x is stored inside of a memory block a, okay, is stored inside of memory block a in your computer, which is the street. That is just it. But there is something else. Now let's check for the address, because the computer does not understand it as memory. It does not understand it as the house. So for your computer to be able to refer to it, it refers to it using the memory address, which is an hexadecimal number. So let's print out the memory addresses. So we'll use another printf. Then format specifier for address is the p. Okay, so we use p. Let's say address. And for you to get the address of any variable, you use ampersand. Okay, so address of a, and let's duplicate this, address of b, and address of c. That's the memory address. So let's put new line so that we have it all on a new line. So now we are going to see their sizes, and we are going to see their address, or where they are located in memory. New line here. Sorry guys, this happens sometimes. Okay, good. Now, so as you can see, each of these character, they have 1 byte each as their memory block. That is, each of these variable, they are stored in 1 byte of house. That is, they are in a house on that street. And for you to locate where they are located, if you want to give somebody their address, this is their respective address. As you can see, just in front we have FE, we have FED. So we'll be having DEF. So it's telling you now that it is just 1 byte of address that these guys are using, 1 byte. That is why we are only having these changes just in front of the last on the last characters. Let's assume we change this to short. So short is also a data type in C. So let's change it to short. Let's see how many bytes a short can store. I'll clear this, then let's rerun it. As you can see, a short stores 2 bytes. That is, a short is going to take 2 blocks in the memory. A short is going to take 2 blocks or 2 bytes in the memory to store just this value. Understood? A short is going to take 2 bytes or two houses inside of the street. A short will take 2 houses in the street so to store the person. And if you want to refer to it, you use the house address. This is it. Now look at it. We have the changes on 1E, 1C, and 1A. What if we change this to integer? So we have int, int. How many bytes will the int take? Let's see. Int takes 4 bytes to store. Int uses 4 bytes to store a value. So let's say it again. So in memory, to store an int is going to take 4 houses just to store, just to house the person. So let's assume int is going to be like a bungalow. So on that street in your memory, int is going to be a bungalow for the person to stay in. And for you to refer to the memory to address, you use p, and this is the address. So for you to say, you say this is the address of the int of this integer a variable, and this is the address of this integer b variable. Now let's try another data type, the double. The double, save, and let's clear this. As you can see, the double takes 8 bytes, 8 bytes to store just this character. So you can understand how it works already. So inside of the street, the double is going to take 8 units to house this person. And this is the address in case you want to refer to it at any time. So how about we try this for an array? Let's say we create an array of characters. Char B, char B, then let's declare the size. Let's say 3, it can store 3 arrays. Let's close this. We don't even need values, we can remove that too. Now, we are working with A and B. So the first one is a character, the second one is, we can leave it as character too. But the first one is a character, the second one is an array. So let's see what our result says. So you see that you use 1 byte to store a character, you use 3 bytes to store an array, and this is the address of the array, and this is the address of the character. Now, let's assume that our array is an int. Remember, int uses 2 memory space to store, right? So you'll see what happens now. Clear? You see 12. So you have 12. Oh, it uses 4, okay? And int uses 4 memory space to store. So you have 4 times 3, 12 bytes. It is a short, okay? Let's use short. Short will use 6 to store an array. 6 bytes because it's 6 times 3. So 6, sorry, 2 times 3 is 6 because a short uses 2 bytes. You know, let's use short from up here so that you can see it properly. So short, let me clear. So to store one character, short uses 2 bytes. But in an array where you have 3 characters, the short is going to use 3 times 2 bytes to store it. Okay, so now let's try int 2, and let's clear this. You see, an int uses 4 to store just one character, but it uses 12 to store an array of 3. That is 4 times 3, 12 bytes. And this is the memory address where you can locate each of the variables that are stored in there. So guys, that is it on memory address. If this concept is a bit difficult to understand, you may need to watch the video again or probably check other resources or get back to me in the comment section. Thank you guys.